Okay, now there'll be a lot of debate in Canberra this week about those media reforms the government is determined to get through the Parliament by the end of this week, although there are hints this morning that the Communications Minister Stephen Conroy may be prepared to compromise, at least around the edges. One of the political players who'll be critical to the success or failure of these reforms is Independent MP Rob Oakeshott. He joins us now from Parliament House. Mr Oakeshott, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
Just so we're absolutely clear, are you inclined to vote for or against the media reforms?
Oh, well, any good member of Parliament will give themselves all the time needed, but if the voting bells went right now, I'd probably be on the negative side. But, this is moving very fast. I'm hearing from you in your introduction that there sounds like there's compromise on the table. In the end, what I think anyone's looking for is a good policy package, and based on its merits, it's not there yet. So we'll see how today and the next few days pan out.
Okay, Senator Conroy is serious about compromise, he says, as opposed to the my way or the highway approach. He will now sit down with people like you to negotiate. What will you be insisting is changed about the current reform package as it stands?
Well, as I said to you, this is the first I've heard. I missed a few calls last night from a few key stakeholders within government because I was actually travelling back to Canberra.
Maybe Stephen Conroy was one of those calls.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm coming back in good faith to try and participate in this public hearing on the 75% reach rule. And, even the establishment of that committee and the agenda of that committee is proving difficult to keep up with. So to hear this morning now that there's talk of compromise, this has got an element of being incredibly rushed for all the wrong reasons. And if we are serious about the national interest and the long-term outcomes for journalists, for regulators, for proprietors in making sure that they can continue to run a business sensibly, then this is madness the way we are rushing this. And I think your tweet on the weekend summed it up, where a few of us are feeling a bit stitched up.
Yes, so I'll have more on being stitched up a bit later this hour. Trust me, Rob Oakeshott. But first, let's go to a couple of issues within this package. You mentioned the 75% reach rule. The government is proposing to scrap that to make media mergers much easier. What is your problem, if you have any, about that government plan?
The very fact that I've come back for a public hearing to try and work across the Parliament on the intellectual question of what are the implications of removing that now versus leaving that there for a period of transition in a rapidly converging market. There's all sorts of implications for local content, for local newsrooms, and in my region on the Mid-North Coast, that would have implications for the number of newsrooms doing local news in a converging national market and international market in regard media. So just pulling a law out that on its face is redundant, there's huge implications for that, and rushing it within trying to get it through on last Friday and now today, I think without a considered view is incredibly dangerous.
Now let's go to this public interest media advocate, the subject of great consternation, particularly among media industry figures. Do you share their concerns that this is a direct attack on free speech in Australia?
No, I don't. I mean, that is overcooked rhetoric, but I do think there's some policy problems again in a considered way about whether this is the right response to the problem. I listened closely to Senator Conroy on Sunday on your parallel program, Insiders, where he mentioned some of the Press Council regulators by name and was directly quoting them. Only last Friday I was talking to one of those Press Council chairs, and they were saying, we're all feeling a bit that this is a package where we're left making decisions around should we go for something, or is it better if we just for now stay with nothing? And his view was nothing, and I think that is some good advice, and some advice that I just wish Senator Conroy had listened to from those people he was quoting as supposed advocates of a package. They're not, and whether they are being ignored, not listened to, misunderstood, I'm not quite sure, but something is going wrong in the stakeholder consultation, and in this case with a key regulator.
Okay, let's fast forward to Thursday, the end of the sitting week, the last time Parliament sits for 7 weeks ahead of the budget sessions. Do you believe there'll be a media reform package passed in any sense?
I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did in this business right now, but if you're asking me to play a betting game, I doubt it very much. And look, I think that is a consideration that we've got to have is that there's going to be plenty of people running around this house today and this week playing the whole kill the bill exercise. The intent and the spirit and the reason behind why a media reform package is necessary and why we had 2 reports and why we've ended up in this at this point is an important one not to lose. So if we're going to kill the bills, we've got to find a way through where the intent and the spirit of trying to modernise the laws to match a rapidly converging media market is an important exercise not to lose on the way through.
OK, Rob Oakeshott in Canberra. We'll wait to see just how you'll vote. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
OK, thanks, Michael.